Hello everyone, this is MTF8, and this is still Kerbal Space Program. So, in our last episode, we took a science probe to Minmus, but I want to get a Kerbal on Minmus, and so that's what I made this thing for. Sort of a combination lander, science probe, but we need to test it out first. And so to do that, we're going to go to the moon. And, this new probe's kind of heavy. Well, it's not a probe, it's a lander. It's kind of heavy. But anyway, you've seen us going to the moon and back, so let's go ahead and just get to the moon. And because again, we're testing out this proof of concept here. So we're gonna get ourselves set up for a nice landing in a good crater that we haven't landed in before. That looks pretty good. And we'll just give ourselves another maneuver marker here to help with landing, so we know when to kill our momentum. And we're probably going to want to be about 5 kilometers up when we do this, just to be on the safe side. Just to give us some leeway for error. Because I will admit, I am somewhat prone to error. Nope, we're just going to go ahead and get ourselves set up to counter this burn. Hardly used any of our fuel in this craft. We've really only used a little bit of it to facilitate the landing so far. So, slowly and surely, slow our forward trajectory, get our gear out. Go ahead and retract our solar panels, no need to have those out. Don't want to get them damaged in an accidental crash or rollover. This is kind of a heavy lander. I'm kind of worried that I might be using too much fuel at this point. Okay, really want to slow down any forward momentum that I have. I want to be very lateral, or not lateral, but I want my trajectory to be very up and down. And if I can get that little yellow marker to be right on the 0 mark, that's about as close as you can get. This is a funny little asymmetric vehicle. It doesn't really appear to be balanced, but according to the center of gravity marker in the builder, this is quite balanced. So it takes a good amount of time to slow down our momentum, but that's okay. That's okay. Seems like we got plenty of fuel and we're not too far away from home. I'm glad I decided to go to the moon before I went to Minmus. So I'm learning to come in a little bit faster to the landings. So I'm drifting here, but the more important thing is you're going to end up drifting no matter what you do. So there's no sense in babysitting your lateral movement all that much until you're just about to land. Oh, this is looking good, looking good. Perfect landing. I'm pretty proud of that one. That was a good landing. Alright, let's get our panels out. And this looks great. This looks absolutely great. We're on the bit of a dark side. Well, not a bit of a dark side. We've got plenty of shadow here. So, we just do a little bit of science. Just do a little check, make sure everything's good. Figure, what the heck, let's let Jeb get out there and plant another flag. At least to let us know we've been here. This is a good craft. This is a good craft. I'm giving it a pass. Although I should probably reserve that until we actually make it home. Woohoo! Second landing. Gotta think of something good. I had no idea what to call this craft. Heavier single-person lander. Ah, that sounds good. That sounds good. We'll take some data, and holy smokes, 120 scientific value, that's fantastic. I think I need to start visiting the moon more often. So, as usual, we bombard a bunch of experiments on the moon, and then we come flying home. And we get a nice, safe return. Jeb's back on home. Successful test. So with that, as you can see, we're filling out this tier pretty good here already. I'm going to go ahead and grab a nice ladder with those points that we just gained on the moon there, and replace kind of these old school clunky ladders that we have with this nice high-tech one. It's going to be pretty snazzy. So I decide to, I'll just fine-tune it a little bit here. Make it a little bit easier to get in and out of the vehicle. I go ahead and note the changes. And we're off to Minmus! No sense in delaying. We have a good lander. Jebediah is eager to get further away from Kerbin. So again, we're still using our little 6-pack booster stage here. It's been a trusty Earth to orbit stage for us for quite a while now. But I think we're approaching its limit. because it sure does struggle to get this heavy lander out of here. Or heavier lander. It's not even a heavy lander. Lean on over for our gravity turn. It's not perfect, but it'll do the job. Okay, what are we looking about here? So, still only about halfway to a good orbit. And away with our last stage there. Now we're on to circularizing our orbit. It's kind of nice that that ladder comes with a little light. Helps to illuminate the craft. So, go ahead and get our orbit nice and circular here. And get ready for another trip out to Minmus. Adjust the polarity of our orbit. And then next, we just try to tweak a good rendezvous with Minmus. Get our solar panels out because we don't want to lose all of our juice and then be stranded. Because it is possible to run out of power and not have any power or enough power to left over to extend your solar panels. So keep that in mind. Learned that lesson the hard way once. Okay. Got a good Minmus trajectory. Go ahead and drop that stage and just fine-tune our orbit with the monoprop, actually. Or the propellant. Or RCS, I guess I should say, maybe. Whoa, I get all confused here. I'm currently within the moon's sphere of influence, and something weird's happened with the way it's drawn. So I get kind of lost. Think, well, can I move back and forth? Oh, there, I finally find a good encounter point again, but yeah, definitely klutzing that one up pretty good. So this is the second time I've encountered Minmus like this. And I don't know if that's just luck or that ends up being the best way to catch up to Minmus, is to kind of throw your orbit past Minmus's orbit so that your periapsis, you kind of go real slow around your periapsis, is where your slowest part of your orbit is, and so you kind of hang out in space and you wait for Minmus to come up underneath you, and then you end up rendezvousing with it. Oh, wow. So once again, the navigator's doing just a crazy thing here. It won't let me draw a point on there, because I got a point over here, and it's very confusing. But it all works out in the end. And there comes Minmus. So we got Minmus, the moon, and Kerbin all in the same shot there. That was fun. Of course, I also have my pointer in the way as well. Alright, so we're getting ready to circularize our orbit around Minmus. And boom! Alright. So we're going to have Jebediah go out and do some EVA reports. There's a lot of good information hovering high above the slopes of Minmus. So we're trying to figure out where a good place to land would be. I think, yeah, we could land over here. That looks pretty good, but then I realized that that's where we just landed our probe. But, we can adjust our polarity of our orbit a little bit here, and there's a nice flat spot over there we can land in. So Minmus is rotating a little bit, so we gotta do an adjustment a little bit. So, do a good burn. Get ourselves nice and squared up here. So it is going to be kind of dark where we land, but there should still be enough light left to charge up our ship. So I notice I'm getting a little closer to that mountain than I like, so decide to burn a little early. And of course this ship kills its momentum almost instantly. Minmus's gravity is easily overcome, and it's not a big gravitational force at all. So we're going to try to recreate our first successful landing by coming right in for a nice gentle burn at the end. So far, so good. About 100 meters off the ground, slow our descent strongly again. Now we just want to have it be a nice controlled drop. Want to hit that surface at about 2 meters per second. Boom! Perfect! Excellent! Alright, Jebediah. Claim this moon in the name of Kerbin. Ladder open. There we go. Excellent. This minty green planet. Minty green moon, I should say. Well, I'm on the ground and doing some kind of strange thing. Yep, no big deal. We'll leave the ladder. Jib's having a hard time deciding which way he wants to walk. Plant that flag, Jebediah! Oh, it's so dark. Oh, well, you can kind of see our flag. That's okay. Because we are the first Kerbin on the moon, or on Minmus. I keep saying that wrong. Full science! Science! Gear. Yeah, but we had to wait for a sunrise. Let's get some science done! Whoops! Alright, that's all the science we need done. Let's head home. Alright, we got a good return trajectory there. 20-second burn, and we'll be home safe.
Take me home tonight. I just wanna show you the true light. Light me up and make me feel alright. 'Cause baby, we are always shining bright. Take me home tonight. I just wanna show you the true light. Light me up and make me feel alright. 'Cause baby, we are always shining bright. Take me home tonight. I just wanna show you the true light. Light me up and make me feel alright. 'Cause baby, we are always shining bright. Take me home tonight. I just
So I actually have so much fuel on this vessel that I decide I'm going to attempt to land the whole thing. We have plenty of fuel to counterburn our velocity here. So we carefully open up our chutes one by one. And one of the things I'm worried about here are my chutes just flying off right when they unfurl at the 500 meter mark. So I'm going to make sure to do a hard burn here when I think they're about to open, so they don't just go flying off my ship. Hey, alright. Good deal. So we're pretty much smooth sailing from here, but the only thing would be whether or not the parachutes can slow down my descent velocity, and at 10 meters per second, my engine should be able to kill that, no problem. So I'm not quite sure what the deal is with me barely having enough fuel to come back home from the moon, but having over half a tank of fuel going to Minmus and back. Some combination of the escaping the moon's gravity, and perhaps my efficiency in my initial launch. I'm not quite sure. But so when we get close to the ground here, we go ahead and throttle up, and it wasn't really enough, but hey, we're here. And that's awesome. And so here we go, and another 500 science points for that. Good deal. Good times. And so with that, I think we're going to go ahead and finish out this tier again. And be looking really good for the rest of these points. So that'll be it for this episode. Thanks for watching, everyone.